Welcome to the Bearded Bro Show podcast. I am one half your host, Dustin, and I am forever joined by...
Trav, as always. How's it going, guys? Good to be back.
Yes, good to be back. We were going to do this yesterday. Yesterday was my birthday.
And Dustin hit me up. He was like, I'm so hyped to record on my birthday night. Cricket sounds. I was like, okay, well, I mean, he must be out celebrating.
Honestly, it was just like one of those days where I just really enjoyed just being around Trista and the kids. And that's kind of what it came down to. And like, she's not working overnights, so she's been having to stay up really late. So I've been trying to stay up with her as late as possible and kind of just hang out with her and just spend as much time with her as possible, really, because it's getting crazy, especially now that...
Crazy how limited you feel sometimes, right?
Well, it's like I have more time with her, but now that with my new job, which I'm going to get into here in a minute, I'm going to be going to overnights as well, and she works 10 p.m. to 7 a.m., right? My overnights are 11 p.m. to 8 a.m., and she usually gets off at 7, comes home, comes right to bed, and then she's up anywhere between like 2:30 p.m. and 3 p.m., which I think is a good, healthy amount of sleep. This is where the problem's going to lie that we are having issues with. If I work until 8, I'm going to sleep until at least 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 sometimes, and that's really hard to do when you have 2 kids who are young. Obviously, we both can't be sleeping all day.
I'm going to lie, I thought of that whenever you told me about your schedule. I'm like, we'll see how Dustin deals with this. It's going to be interesting for him because I know that Dustin's definitely, when it comes to like what he had before going on, because like, I don't know, like, when you generally woke up before, but I remember, like your vlogs, you would always say something like, it's 10 or 10:30 or going on 11. Like, you don't get up super early, but you get up definitely before me. And so I was just always thinking, like, it's going to be weird for him to switch to nights because I don't think you've really gotten to experience that yet.
I have had jobs close, and I've done, like, odds and end things where I've had to work overnights and stuff like that, which it's not bad. And I mean, it's just one of those things, like, you just kind of have to get in that routine. But Trista actually, like, kind of comes home with a lot of energy. And I'm sure, like, if we plan it right, like even I said, I was like, Trista, if you want me to, like, stay up for a couple hours longer, you know, and you can just, even, you know, she's trying to get to the point where she can run. Bless me. Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I was like, wait, he went so quiet, and then it was just an explosion.
Yeah, sneezes catch me. They blindside the fuck out of me, by the way, and it sucks. I do feel another one, though, maybe, now that I'm talking shit on it. Yep, it went away. So, we're trying to kind of get it to the point where we can run off, like, little to no sleep. Because, to be honest with you guys, they say, like, 8 hours of sleep, but trust me, you can function normally on 4 to 5 hours. I've done it. Honestly, like, it happens to me more than it ever should. And there are actually, like, very successful people that literally only limit themselves to 4 hours of sleep a day. And they are very, very successful and very, like, very productive. So it is possible. It's just getting your body into that routine, which isn't bad. Lately, I've honestly been waking up at, like, 8 a.m. because my first couple days of training, I had to be up at, like, 8 and then start training at 9. So, like, I adjusted to that within 2 days. My body's just, it's 8 o'clock, I'm up. So, honestly, I don't think I would really have a problem switching to nights, to be completely honest. But we'll make it work. Like,
yeah, and I mean, it's just different in general when you're used to something for so long. And, like, I did think of, like, how, you know, you're a dad now, so it's definitely going to be, like, interesting to try to fall asleep, because I guarantee there'll be days where you're like, I just got off work, and you maybe on this specific morning, you want to just go straight to bed, you're exhausted, and then it's like, oh, that's right when they got up.
Yep.
So here we go. You know, so it's just, like, a thing, but, like, you know, if Trista's home or whatever, y'all can figure something out.
Yeah,
know,
and we
like,
will.
give you that peace.
We will, like my brother works.
It is a struggle to fall asleep at first when you switch over to there being daylight. I would highly recommend what me and Ashley did, and we got black curtains.
Blackout curtains, yes.
It definitely came in handy, because, like, even with them, though, there's a lot more light than you would expect. And well, also on our bedroom window, that's actually where the sun hits the building, so That's yeah. So the apartments that are on the back side of the building, we're kind of jealous of them because they get like all that shade and they also have a patio. And whenever we moved in here, I was like, man, I kind of want a patio because I would actually love to film in some natural lighting for my channel and stuff. And that doesn't really matter anyway because I film a lot at night. But it would have been nice, but we got what we got, so we're blessed. But yeah, definitely, blackout curtains, absolutely. Yeah. Especially if you're one of those people that likes to sleep in pitch black darkness like me.
Oh, I do too.
So
that's the thing, man. Like there's sometimes too, like in the past where the second, like especially in the summertime, dude, the second the sun would even peek up just the tiniest bit, I was awake. I'm like, fuck. Because now I know it's there and I know it's like almost time for me, to get up. It sucked. But I love total darkness. And it's so peaceful, yeah. It's definitely makes a difference. But, like I have a brother who is going to be 18. He is 18. He just turned 18. My months are fucked up right now. But he like literally works 20 feet down the road from where I live. And he gets off, and now it's going to be winter. He's actually going to be getting off earlier. And he even said, he was like, dude, I'll come get the kids if that means that like you and Trista can get some sleep. And we were like, that's probably going to be like a really good idea because that way they can go, they can play. My parents have like a big yard and they can be entertained. So if that's what it comes down to. But again, we honestly, like, we will figure it out. Trista and I are very good at like kind of like working with each other and around each other's schedules. So it's really not going to be a problem. But my birthday, that happened. I turned 28 years old yesterday.
Yeah, it wasn't 27 on October 27th like last time.
No.
It's weird when I think back to when you said that. I don't know why I remember you saying that so well, but I think that was actually on my channel because wasn't the podcast?
The podcast.
I mean, we're about to hit a year, but I think it was December.
The podcast didn't happen until the podcast happened after my job in South Carolina.
Yeah.
And I turned 27 when working in South Carolina. Like I actually literally on my birthday last year was driving from Pennsylvania to South Carolina. Like I spent my birthday in a car. So like this year it was different. And like, and everybody like, I had like my parents were like, I want to do dinner, or we can do this. And why don't you like come get a cake and like, we'll get a cake and come over and sing and we'll celebrate. And it was like, I just kind of didn't want to do any of that. You know what I mean?
I know, right? And it's always like a feeling of like, I just want to do what I want to do because it's kind of my day.
Yeah.
But that's me all the time. Like, I just kind of want to do what I want to do.
And Trista worked the overnight. So Monday night she went at 10 p.m., got off at 7 a.m. on Tuesday, my birthday. And she slept. So, like, she got up, got a shower, and I was like, I really want to go play disc golf. Like, that's just the one thing I want to do. I haven't been out in a while. Like, I really want to play disc golf with you and the kids. Aiden was home. Yeah, Aiden was home. Obviously it was Tuesday. So like, since I was up early and everything, and all this thing happened with my job, I'll tell quickly. I was doing training, and I am training to do like inbound only calls. So I will not be taking calls. I will not be making calls. I only be taking calls. Like closing out people's fundraisers and things like that. Really, really kind of a cool job, to be honest. And so I was up early on my birthday, got an hour and a half into my training. They're like, oh my God, you're with the wrong group. Me and one other guy were with the wrong group. So they had to like take us out of there because if we would have continued, we would have set up our programs that I have on my computer to like take these calls. It really would have just screwed everything up for me, and it would have just been bad and a long time to fix. So they actually corrected it, thank God. And it's all getting situated back to normal now. But so Trista slept till like 3. Got up, showered, and I was like, let's go play disc golf. And we were going, literally walking, because we can walk right across the street and play a course. And literally walking down the sidewalk, and it starts to rain. But not like a downpour. It was just like a light mist. But it was nonstop. Yeah. And we actually played through the mist and like in like the little bit of rain. And it was just so fun. And yeah. I was telling Trav, too, before we started, I've actually almost gotten 4 aces this month. 4, which, if you don't know what an ace is, it's basically a hole-in-one. which is not a very common thing. Believe it or not, like you would think like, oh, the professionals do it all the time. It does not. It happens a lot less than what you may think it happens. It's actually kind of like a rare thing, and even the pros that have been playing since like the...
I mean, I could see how it would be really hard to do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you're hitting this one basket far away from you. I mean, like, hitting it once, and you're not even, like, you're at the start point and you're not close to it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean,
and I'm in, like, a bunch of Facebook groups, and this guy posted in the one group and was like, how many aces have you guys got? I want to know whether it's been 1, 20, 0, whatever it may be. And this guy posted that he's been playing since 1992. He's only ever hit one ace back in 1992. Still plays to this day and has never done it again.
Wow.
Then there are some people that like get like 2 or 3 a day. I mean, it's just... I mean, you can say luck, but it's also like there's a lot of skill involved in it too. You really have to understand your disc and the angles you put it on. Because I was thinking about it today too. It's a very technical thing. Like even the most minuscule change in angle can completely change the way your disc flies. I mean,
right.
In order to get an ace, I mean, you have to understand what your disc does, how far it's going to go with, your power and how fast your arm is, because all that is a big factor in it. And you just have to literally have the perfect angle to make it fly the way it needs to fly to make that stuff happen. It's crazy. It really is. So the first one that almost happened, I actually met up with Eric, and it wasn't even Eric. It was just Eric's parents, because Eric's dad and mom play. And they are honestly the people that got me into the sport like 2 or 3 years ago, was Eric and his dad and his mom. So like, and I'm cool with Eric's parents. Eric and I have been friends for the better part of like 12 or 13 years now. And, like I can talk to his parents. I can hang out with his parents. Like he doesn't have to be there. It's not weird, And I remember like the park I play at all the time. I threw it on hole 4, hung out over the road, which if you land on the road, it's out of bounds and you have to add a stroke. Skipped off the road and curved right in front of the basket, probably about a foot away from going in.
Dang.
That was the first one. Second one, out of course, I've never played before. Completely out of my element, had no idea. The tee pad was on top of this hill, and it was like a really steep downhill, like almost straight, like vertical. It was like a mountain, and then it was like a small divot, and then it went straight up, and the basket was like on the next hill over. So you had probably about, I don't know, 100-foot gap between the top of the 2 hills. I threw my disc. It skipped up and hit the bottom of the basket. Had I would have skipped that disc, if that disc would have hit probably 10 feet farther back, I could have made it right in. The third one was on my birthday with Trista. Again, it just had that skip. I mean, it wasn't like super close, but I mean, like it was on the track of like going in. If I would have maybe threw it just a little bit harder, tiny bit higher, probably would have went in. Today, I threw one, and it literally landed about 2 feet back from the basket.
Wow.
I actually got a picture of it. It was kind of cool. So that happened. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I was telling you about my buddy John that I work with. Shout out to John. He's probably never going to listen to this, but he's an older guy, and like he's really funny, and he can just kind of light up a room with like, if you're in a weird mood or whatever, he can make you laugh. But he was saying, like, I was thinking back to what you said about that other guy, like 1992, like good lord, the year I was born. Yeah. By the way, it's like it's like been playing that long, or as long as I've been alive, and only got as much as he did. And then John was telling me, I don't think he was trying to brag, he was just being honest about like how much he's got. He's like, I've had 10. I'm like, wow. But I don't know, but that's only 10 since 2015. I mean, like that's a lot, honestly, but it's also like, but it's, I was impressed to hear that. And I don't know if me and him would ever play or whatever, but like whenever I am playing, and maybe I could talk him into it, whatever, but I'd really like to see his technique. But I don't know. Him and his son play. His son works there too, and it's cool. As a matter of fact, like his son, his profile photo on Facebook is actually a disc. So I was like, well, Dustin would get along probably. But
yeah, there you go. I mean, if you're ever gonna go with somebody, I'd go with them because obviously, like they're gonna be able to really kind of show you
put the time in.
Yeah.
And it was just interesting because like I'm working kind of right beside John that whole day and talking to him about it and kind of told him about Dustin's channel and it's just like because he had watched other disc channels. I just straight up asked him because an older guy, you don't really know what they're into. Like, do you watch any YouTube at all? So I was like, do you watch any disc golf channels? He's like, yeah, I got a few. I was like, oh yeah, I got a friend that's kind of recently started out with the game but I told him about him like Dustin trying to get me to play and like getting discs and everything and that one day, yes, it'll happen. It'll be pretty cool.
Yes, it will. So I told Trav too, I want to kind of talk about the ugly side of YouTube. This podcast is just kind of YouTube. This podcast is going to be everywhere.
Yeah, we're free flowing it, guys. Yeah, we're just chilling.
There was no like real discussion, no real topic. I was just like, Trav called me. I was like, I got ideas. Also, Trav and I had probably the most intimate conversation ever. Yeah, we had the most intimate conversation through Messenger. We'll talk about that quickly because that's just fucking entertainment. So like, I messaged Trav and I was like, you want to do the podcast after I take a shower? He said, sure. And I was like, okay, cool. So I got a shower, messaged him. I was like, I'm done. Gonna go upstairs and get changed because I'm not recording naked this time. And
yeah, that's just something. That's just like the way Dustin talks. He'll just say something random like that, like I'm not recording it naked, and then I'm like, so you're trying to say you've done that before? Like I don't really. And then you said no. I'm like, okay, so it's just like something going through your mind, and then and we got to talking about like what did you say next? Something about.
I was like, dude,
but you're kind of talking about, and leave us in the comments what you guys think and what you guys do. This is TMI, like, and for the guys especially.
There's nothing wrong, you guys sleep? Like with being.
Do you sleep naked? Do you sleep? I don't know. I was trying to explain to him like the most I do is like lounge around worthy is like if I'm on the couch or whatever. I'm usually always wearing a shirt, and like Dustin was basically talking about how like he doesn't like to be like sitting in a chair or in bed or anywhere just naked, and there's a lot of guys like especially rednecks, and especially around here, man, you'll just find like dudes that just the shirtless redneck guy with the beer in his hand, and just like come on, dude, like I'm not saying like I don't want to see that and all your flab, but it's just like I've just always seen it as respectful to like wear clothing when you step outside. Right. I don't know. It just like I feel uncomfortable without it, and it's also probably because I'm not like in the best shape or anything. I don't have the abs to show off and stuff. But if I did, I think I'd still. I just don't have that like I'm a man. I'm gonna go outside without my shirt. Like I know guys. I got friends that will mow the lawn without a shirt and all this stuff, yada yada, and I'm just like. I just can't, man. Like, it's just something about it. I'll throw on, like, something that I want to, like, dirty up and throw in the laundry after. Or maybe it's just a shirt I already had on because I'm going to wash it anyway. Stuff like that. But just question to you guys, what's your preference on lounging around or sleeping? Are you naked? Are you no undies? Whatever. I was telling him that, like, I like to wear pajama pants, but with, like, nothing underneath unless I just still happen to have underwear on. Sometimes even underwear, I feel like I feel restricted. I'm just like, I just want to, you want to free ball it sometimes.
Listen, and there's nothing wrong with free balling, but like the whole like, I don't like being naked in general, and I mean it's not like, I know a lot of people are like that because of like being self-conscious. I just think it's kind of fucking gross. Like that's just me though.
I know, right?
But like
exactly.
I mean, like if my wife's in the room and like she's naked, like do you like yeah I'm gonna look like fuck yeah be naked but it's just like
that's different
yeah but like
but after that session, well, let me ask you, after that session, do you put clothes back on or can you fall asleep like that?
We talking about sex?
I mean, you're the one that just said.
No, I mean like
you brought it up.
I mean like Trista I'm just gonna be honest. Trista doesn't mind like being naked, like I mean in the bedroom, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, she's comfortable with herself, and I'm comfortable with myself. It's just, I don't like being naked. I have a leather gaming chair, and I have sketchy ass farts.
Yeah, exactly. The leather will stick to you.
Naked. Can't turn my air conditioner on because it's loud as fuck. My butt cheeks sweat, swamp ass, not good. On pleather? No, it's gonna be like ripping duct tape off my ass cheeks. I am so glad. I just want to say, I do not have a single hair on my ass, and I am so grateful for that because I feel like that would make it worse. Anyways, I just, there's no way. Like, what if I'm sitting here recording a podcast, I'm butt naked, my balls and my wiener flopped on the chair, sticking to it. If I fart, I have sketchy farts. If I fart, and I fucking...
You have explained that. It seems like more often than not, you have farts that are very dangerous.
I do. Oh my god, listen, I am so fucking proud of myself. I'm actually gonna get into that after my little rant here. But like, there's like a nice foam cushion under my ass right now, right? And if I fart, like I'm literally just baking a fucking air biscuit into my seat, and then every time I sit down, it's gonna waft up, make me gag. I ain't dealing with it. Tristan and I have baby blue bed sheets on our bed. What if I'm laying there, right? Like I'm sleeping, I fart. What if I shoot a turd out and it just skids across the bed? Like, I worry about that. What if I didn't wipe my ass good enough, right?
You're kind of like, you know what? I want the accident-ready clothing. You want the stuff that's gonna catch it.
I mean, it doesn't happen that much. But, like, it's a fear, right? And I don't know. I think just sleeping naked's weird. I don't want my, like, junk fucking, like, laying up against, like, my fucking thigh. Like, what if you know what I mean? Like...
It's just like, it's like so... You're telling the truth because it exists and it's a thing, but it's like just the way you're describing it is what's killing me. Is just like, my junk, like, so pronounced on every word.
Dude, Trav,
I get it, and I get what you're saying, because, like, a guy.
You know that having a dick, it is sometimes literally the most uncomfortable thing. Sometimes you don't know what
really is, man.
Like sometimes you wear the right pants, right, where it can just scrunch up right in the middle, and it holds its shape, and it's fine. Don't move around too much. Then sometimes you have those pants where it's like, okay, you can't do that because then you have a bulge. So it's like, what leg do you pick? You got to pick one. And sometimes just laying, dude, like, you know, like whenever you're not like charged and ready to fucking go, it's just floppy. And it just bends weird and sits weird and lays weird. It's uncomfortable. And I don't want to do that naked. I can't.
Guys, welcome to the Bearded Bro Show podcast.
I'm just being real. I'm comfortable with it.
Oh my god.
And to answer your question,
and like,
after that session, do I put clothes back on? Depends on when the session happens, all right? With kids, it's kind of tricky.
I mean, I don't know. It's so easy to just be like, whatever, I'm out. Sleep.
Oh, but, dude, like, I'm not going to lie. I mean, like, I've definitely laid there naked, like, fuck yeah. And then there's times where it's just like, you know, and then, like, maybe I don't want to put my boxers back on. Like, what if it happens, okay, like, after, like, a day? You know what I mean? Like, I showered, I'm clean, we're good, like, I didn't do anything, I'm not super sweaty, like, I'm Gucci, and it happens, and, like, you know, maybe I'll just get up, and I told Trav, like, honestly, I don't sleep with a shirt on. It's very, very rare that I ever sleep with a shirt on. My go-to is, like, shirtless basketball shorts free balling, or I'm, like, shirtless straight boxers. But I mean, like,
yeah, that's comfortable.
Like, yeah, like, there's times, like, maybe I'll just get, like, usually after the session, as Trav says, it's just like I get up and I just either like a light pair of pajama pants, like something nice and breathable, or a pair of basketball shorts, free ball, right in bed.
I don't know. It was just a thing that I was curious, you know, like, because it's like you're talking about being naked and all this. It's like, well, then, like, that, you know, that's a thing that leads to things. And so it's like, well, then let's just discuss all of it. And in the full circle of sleeping naked or not, the circumstances, what's up, you know. So I don't know.
I'm just waiting for the day that I fart during sex.
Oh, God.
In my 28 years of life, I haven't been having sex for 28 years. I'd be fucking concerned. I guess I lost my virginity when I was 14. So I guess in my 14 years of life, my sexual life, I've never farted during intercourse. I've never been with anybody that's farted during intercourse, but I'm a fucking child. And I swear it wouldn't matter. If I'm just fucking driving it home and I fucking work up a fart, and it comes out. Hear me out. Hear me out.
The way Dustin describes things, man, it kills me.
I'm just, dude, it's just me. if
so profound.
Bro,
on
if
all
I'm
the
going to
words.
Pound Town,
Driving it home.
yeah, if I'm going to Pound Town, driving it home, whatever you want to call it, fucking, I don't know.
This is exactly why I can't put clean on the episode settings.
Like,
Oh,
dude,
man.
I'm gonna lose so many subscribers. I don't even care. No, but like, I mean, dude, if I fart, I'm gonna laugh. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, there's no, yeah, and especially if, like, you know that they heard it. And there's a smell no matter what, because you're right there.
And if Trista farts, we're both laughing.
Yeah.
But did I hear you say you've done that?
Yeah.
Well, for one, I never knew you had
and
sex.
the
So
and
congratulations.
for the other one, so it's kind of like, I don't know.
Did you stop?
It sometimes is you laugh, you end up laughing your head off, and like then you're like, all right, I need a minute, and then you go again. But it yeah, definitely. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm not saying like I want to do that. I don't want to fart during anything like that. But like when it happens, you just kind of accept it as like, okay, this is funny, and you're not taking anything going on too seriously. I'm not like Chris D'Elia, where he was like, sex is like, that's whatever he said. He said something like, I am serious, don't laugh, like, or whatever.
You know
just
what?
Like, it depends.
And here's the thing, and I really think it depends on your partner. Tristan and I have very similar personalities. Like, I always like say she's like the female version of me. And I mean, it's just like, this isn't weird to talk about either. And I don't know about Trav. I'm very comfortable with what I do, like, sexually, and so is Trista. And I feel like that there too. Like, I mean, we don't talk about it with other people per se, but like with each other, you know. And I'm not sure if you and Ashley have that type of relationship where you can like talk about stuff like that and things you like and things you don't like, and just like, I think having
kind of hard not to when you're gonna get naked and do the stuff you do. It's kind of like, it's like if you haven't gotten to the point where you're comfortable. Like I don't know of any couples that are like that I have, because I have had talks with friends that talk about like their sex lives and stuff, and like they usually end up getting with somebody that's like comfortable with like talking about all of it, but also making it sort of a part of their sense of humor as well, you know, because obviously, you know, I think we all know the couples that are all about dirty jokes and stuff, and
oh,
like,
Tristan, I like that, yeah. And I mean,
it's a thing.
It really too, like sex. That's what makes sex beautiful, right? It's not like, it's just it's a moment that you're, you know, spending with your significant
It can be
other.
funny.
It can be.
Yeah, it can be kind of funny.
It can be. And like, I mean, there's been times where like, you know, Tristan and I've just laughed about shit. Not literal shit or like farts, like that hasn't happened yet, but like but like,
what if though? It's just like, that's funny,
like,
but I need to go shower.
Like, so like sometimes like funny things happen, and it's just, it's normal, you know? Like it's a very normal thing, and I don't know, man, but I don't even know how the fuck we got on this conversation.
It's Dustin's fault for bringing up being naked and all this stuff.
No, I wasn't thinking sex, and then you're like, what do you do after the deed?
I know, but it just, like, I don't know.
Dude,
it's
I can't be, the sex, like, when, like, in the heat of, like, intercourse, do you just ever have that urge to, like, do something different? Like, I don't know, like maybe like a different position, or like do something to your significant other that you like would never do normally, like something that like you think about outside of sex. It's like, dude, that's fucking gross. That's like appalling. But then like during sex, it's like, that's so fucking hot. Like,
it's like a
do you know what I mean though? Like, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I mean, it's like a natural thought that's like, I don't know, like, yeah, it's not something like, it's more, how do I even word this? It's more common to think about doing something crazy during than it would be like, sometimes you don't even think about what that would be like.
I got a question
before
for
it
you.
happened.
I want you to answer this completely honest with me, okay?
All right. Lucas, I'm sorry, bro. I'm so sorry.
And I ask people this because it's a very common fetish, I guess. It's not a fetish that I have, but I know people that do, and there's nothing wrong with it.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever suck your significant other's toes during sex? Would you try it? Like is it something that like would cross your mind? Or have you done it?
You're like, let me think of all the options of like, wait, maybe he has.
Yeah, you never know. I'm gonna be honest, I have. Would I ever do it outside of sex? No. Keep your nasty fucking sweaty feet away from me. I don't want them near me. But here, listen. Now there's a stipulation to this, right? It's not. It's something I have done because I've tried it, and it was something that like Tristan and I have discussed, and I was, like it. And things happen. Like we've done it a couple times. It's not like a every time thing. You know what I mean? Like it's to me. There are some people that like that. To me, it's a little weird. But sometimes it stimulates. Like people, there's like in your fingers too, like in the tips of your fingers and the tips of your toes. There's a lot of nerve endings. So like when you're giving stimulation somewhere else and you add stimulation to another part, like it feels good. And there's nothing wrong with that. Here's my role with it.
I've done it, but it's not a thing that's like...
Oh, you have done it?
Yeah, I've done it, but it's not a thing that's like...
It's constant.
That is an absolute, like, one of our go-tos or anything. It's actually more of, like, a joke of, like... Because she's, like, super ticklish, so...
So is Trista.
It's just, like... It's more of just, like, I don't know, but...
I am so
foot
sorry,
massages,
Lucas.
though. Do what?
I'm so sorry, Lucas.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with talking about this stuff. I mean, listen.
No.
It was a matter of time. It really was.
It was a matter of time, because probably, like, Dustin's going to ask me all kinds of questions whenever we're actually in person and all that.
Oh, hell yeah.
I just have a feeling, because we're both very honest and open people. And I'm the type of person with any best friend anyway, where, like, between each other, and yes, this is for an audience, so it is... It's a little weird, but at the same time, like, it's like, whatever, it's entertainment. But when it comes to, like, me and Thomas or something getting together, and, like, we know that the conversation is, like, completely, like, it's like, yeah, we'll discuss things, like, and Thomas is, like, on another level of dirty humor. Like, it's not really my thing, but... Like, I will be open with somebody about stuff once the conversation goes. I'm never the first person to, like, let's open up with that.
Right, yeah.
So it's like, it's a different thing, but once the conversation goes, it can be interesting because at the end of the day, it's a very natural part of life. It's honestly how people are here. So if you think about it, it's like people exist because of sex, and it's just like this natural whatever, and it's like, there's ways to go about everything wrong, and like there's just bad things in this world that have to do with it. But at the end of the day, I think there's nothing wrong with it when it comes to just like you and your partner.
No, and you said what you did it as more. It's more of like a joking thing, because she's like super ticklish. See, so is Trista, but like during that time, it doesn't like. It's not ticklish. It's like stimulating. Here's my thing though. Like, listen, Trista sweats. Like her feet sweat bad. Trista's feet sweat bad. And she admits it, right? Like she's not like a gross person, but her feet sweat so bad and they smell like fucking Fritos when she takes her shoes off. It's pretty gross. But I love her. I love her dearly. I'm not doing that I mean, it wouldn't even matter like who I was with. Like now, if that is something like if we're pre-gaming and like you're like, I want to stick my fucking middle toe in your mouth and I want you to suck the polish off of it, I'm gonna be like, go fucking take a shower and scrub them, and then I don't even want you to touch the floor. I'm gonna carry your ass to the bed.
exactly. It's
or
gross
put
to
like
think about the
something
carpet and
on.
floor.
Yeah, like no, but, like dogs, animals, hair. Like I don't want to be sucking your big toe, and next thing you know, I have a fucking hairball in my mouth.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I know people. I actually used to work at McDonald's with a guy who was like very open about his like fetishes, and I mean he liked some like there's shit like okay. Like I said, I don't have a foot fetish. Like I don't think I really have any fetishes, to be completely honest. At least I don't know if I did. Like I don't know. I'm just me.
Yeah, like probably everything kind of like me is just like the normal likes.
Yeah, right. And I mean, and that's just it for me as well. And like this kid was just very open about the stuff he liked. But I mean, like he had his name was Anthony too, and he just nice guy. And he dated my friend Shelby. Her and I graduated high school together. They dated. We all worked at McDonald's together. This is like senior year. Yeah, it was senior year of high school. And I mean, if she wore like outside of work, like we've all hung out before because we were all friends. If she wore like flip-flops, like hanging outside of work, like he would fucking lose his mind. Like he would like drool over her. And like that, I mean, hey man, like you like what you like, but like I always found that shit kind of weird, dude. But I mean, like he was in it. Like he was in it, and he liked armpits. Like that was a thing he liked, like licking armpits. And I was like, that's fucking foul, dude.
Kind of weird, but at the same time, it's like interesting.
There are literally people that like being shit on. I mean,
yeah, that like the really gross stuff is where I draw that line of like why like how it's like my question is, and sorry if anyone's listening and you like that kind of thing, but just disclaimer on that, like we're just two guys that like normal things, so take it with how you wish, but anything that's like involves really gross
if
things.
it involves
it's
like body fluid, that's not the natural body fluid.
It's like, how does that
produce?
even start to enter your mind of a like? How does it start? Is it one of those things where it's like all the regular stuff isn't enough? Is it just like one of those things? Like I don't like whenever people set these standards for what things should happen, it's just like then I don't know. I don't know unless you just find that wife or husband that just like likes it too. But whenever you set all these like bars of like it has to be this and sex has to be like this, then like good luck finding somebody that you're going to be permanently with, because it's most likely that a lot of people are probably going to find that gross. But I know there's some weird
and again, you like
there's some weird girls out there too, but
you like what you like, and I'm open to a lot of things. I'm a very open-minded person, especially when it comes to that. Like, say for example, like if there was something that Trista liked that like I thought was weird, I would do that to please her to a degree. You know what I mean? Like if there's like body excrement involved that's not like the sticky icky gooey white stuff. Like if you want like to like if you want like puked on, if you want like pooped on or peed on, I'm not your guy. I'm fucking out. I don't care if I love Margot Robbie. If Margot Robbie walked up to me, offered me $1 million in cash and said, "Let me shit on your chest," I wouldn't do it. Not even for $1 million. As much as I would love to see Margot Robbie's butthole, I'm just kidding. That'd be weird. No,
He's trying so hard to come back from this.
I don't like staring at buttholes. It's fucking, they're buttholes. When if you've seen one, you've seen them all.
Like,
type of thing.
Your food comes out of there.
Yeah. If you've seen one, you've seen them all. But no, like there's a fine line to be drawn, and that's a line I would never cross. But I mean, if you like it, you do you. Get pooped on, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. I feel like we're gonna have to cut a lot of this podcast out, because it really, we're gonna talk about the what I say, the what side of YouTube?
the bad side of YouTube.
The bad side of YouTube.
From that to that?
Yeah, we literally went for like, we're gonna talk about YouTube in this video that I uploaded to talking about Margot Robbie's butthole.
I may just tell Lucas, like, cut out what you want out of what we just talked about, but it's all pretty foul.
Dude, just, you know what? Leave it in. Listen, I'm just that type of person. Trust me, guys. You may think that like I say some wild shit on this podcast. I hold back a lot. A lot. I mean, like this is just me, you know, like. And I feel like if any of my subs watch this, Oro, I know he's probably like, dude, the fuck. You know, like, you're gonna, like, I'm literally recording a Minecraft video after this, and I'm gonna be like, okay, guys, you want to go ahead and take your stone blocks and place 12 this way? You know, and then I'm over here like, buttholes, and, like...
Anyway, so bad side of
the bad
YouTube.
Side of YouTube.
What are your thoughts?
So, okay, I uploaded a video, and Trav knows about my video because he became a patron at $1. Thank you, Trav. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So...
I'm mowing grass. I got the grass tier.
The grass tier. So I have a Patreon, and
so do I. By the way, people, I'm just saying.
Okay.
Don't worry about that.
In between jobs, I kind of had like these moments of like a lot of thought, right? Like of just everything, and I was sitting in my chair and I was kind of looking at all my equipment, kind of like I am right now, and I was just like, this is an expensive fucking hobby. And in the grand scheme of things, like when you really break it down, kind of like I did in my video, and like I mentioned, I honestly thought about just quitting the channel that I have because it's so expensive. And I don't think people necessarily think about that. And I got a lot of comments. You can go and look at the comments. They're all very like positive, nice comments, and they're really endearing. But like I feel like people just really kind of misunderstood what I said. And basically the whole video was like, look, this is a very expensive hobby. And I kind of broke it down in the sense of like equipment. And I mean, we all know that stuff's expensive. But like you think about it, like you have internet, you have electricity bills, like you have all these things that make, you know, when people think of YouTube and like the expensiveness of it, they think about like, oh, buying a computer or buying a console or buying a microphone or whatever it may be. But I don't think people really think about it in the grand scheme of things of like, in order for all that stuff to work, like you have to pay bills wherever you live. And my whole video was like, you know, when I started this channel back in 2014, I had a completely different financial situation. I was young. I had a job, but the only thing I had to pay for was a phone bill. It was like $50 a month. So yeah, my paychecks, I was able to buy capture cards and buy Xboxes and buy the stuff that I need. And it's like now that I'm older, I'm getting married, I have 2 kids, I have a car that's only 2 years old. I bought it brand new. And like Tristan and I rent this house we're in. We have an internet bill, we have an electricity bill, and it's just like, this is fucking expensive. And I made a Patreon, and you know, and I said too, like, I'm not making this Patreon like if people don't sub to me on Patreon that I'm gonna like quit this channel. Like that's not at all the case. Like my whole argument,
it's just a bonus,
right? And like my whole point in this video was like, I'm gonna be honest, my Xbox One, it's the original Xbox One. It thing's years old. And it's like, it's loud, it's on its last leg. My capture card I've had since before I even started my Minecraft channel. My capture card's probably 8 years old. And it, you know, it's getting hot, it's starting to act up. And my whole thing is, like, if that stuff goes, I can't replace it. Because financially, my responsibilities aren't in this channel anymore. You know, like, again, I have a car, right. I can't lose my car. Tristan and I can't lose our house. We can't lose our internet. We can't, like, we need this stuff. Like, it's a necessity. And that's why I made the Patreon. And it's just like, and I have people like commenting again, all really nice people. There was no ignorant comments. everybody was really cool and understanding, and they're like, no, don't quit. And
even
I
if
was
there
like,
were, like, forget them.
I wouldn't care
It's like,
anyway.
if they don't understand, they don't
I
understand.
get what the people were trying to say. You know, I had people like, no, don't quit. And I was like, I never said I was quitting. I said I thought about it because, like, it's expensive and I can't keep up with it. If my Xbox goes, guess what? That's a main part of what I do. My capture card goes.
The video was a good title, but I think people were just taking it from the title because you said, like, I almost.
Yeah.
I mean, hints, almost, but it is kind of one of those titles where I could see how people could take it out of context, but it's not a bad title because, for one, you wanted people to click on that thing, so it's a good title to draw people in because you want them to listen to this.
And it drew them in.
The diehard audience, because this is gonna be a really good example of, and I'm wondering. I'll let you finish anything else you were gonna say about that, and I'm gonna kind of think about something for a second.
Okay.
But
so my whole argument was, like, if I lose an important piece of equipment, that's it. Like, not, I don't mean like that's it in the terms of like, oh, this is over, it's done with. No, I mean it like, if my Xbox goes, I can't just go drop $500 and buy a new one. If my capture card goes, that's another $150 to $200. If they both go at the same time, that's $750 minimum.
Yeah.
That I just can't spend. So, like, if that happens, it could be days, weeks, months without videos because it's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have a roof over my head and light than
and light.
Right. So, like, I made the Patreon and I was like, look, any money made from this Patreon is not going to go towards any of that stuff. Like, it's nothing personal. It's all going to get put back into the channel. It's there. If something happens, something can be replaced. I want to get it to the point, like, if I get enough people on Patreon, that I want to start doing, like, maybe monthly giveaways. And there's a lot of perks. Like, I think I made the perks pretty good. Obviously, like, I want to alter some things. I said something about even, like, taking some of that money and maybe, like, hosting a server where people that exclusively sub to me on Patreon that want to play Minecraft with me, we can have a server. We can make content together. My $20 tier, I was like, if you have content that you make, whether it be live streaming, whether it be, like, YouTube, I will play a game with you for your YouTube channel. If you vlog, I will film clips for you for your YouTube channel. If you just want to, like, have a day where, like, you want to game with me for a few hours, we can make that happen. Like, I want to build a community, and more so it's just there, like, that if something happens, there's a backup. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, why don't you play, like, more popular games? Why don't you stop playing Minecraft? Maybe you just need new content. Because I mentioned, like, YouTube and making money from YouTube. And listen, and then this is kind of where the bad side of YouTube comes into play. And that's with the money. Trav and I both have, like, decently, I don't want to use the term big because we're not big YouTubers, but, like, we have a decent amount of subscribers, and we're both monetized. I make money off YouTube every month because I'm through an MCN, and it's a 90-10 split. I get 90% of my earnings. The MCN takes 10%, which is fine. But I feel like the ugly side of YouTube is people get this kind of unreal perception of it. And, you watch these people that have millions of subs and they're, like, buying Lamborghinis and BMWs and, like, these really big, elegant houses, and they just live this lavish lifestyle. They can go out and buy a $500 Gucci shirt and it's nothing. And I feel like it really sets an unreal perspective for somebody who is just starting out, or maybe somebody that's not quite as big. There's a couple people I'm sub to that I watch and I support that have well over 100,000 subscribers, and YouTube is not even close to being a fucking job for them. And I think, and it sucks because, like, like people are like, play different games, get more views, get more money, and it's never about the money for me. It never was about the money. And even if it was, I am so fucking glad that I don't rely on YouTube as an actual source of income, because I have really bad months. Sometimes I have really good months, but mostly I have really bad months. I'm lucky if there's a time where I get $20 a month. And it's just the honest to God truth. It's, you know, and people just think like, oh, well, maybe if Dustin plays Among Us and uploads it to YouTube, he's going to get millions of views. And it's like, no, I'm not.
Then you're only limiting yourself to you're wanting the money out of it.
Right.
It's taking away from. Now, would that be fun for you? Probably. Sure. Would it be a quote unquote good idea for your channel? Maybe. But it doesn't mean that you're personally getting anything out of it except for maybe like those, you know, random suggested, you know, it's yes, for YouTube and your channel, is it important to get yourself in the, like, to do well? Is it important to get yourself in the suggested playlists and all this stuff? Yes. Like, I got a message today from a guy. It's funny that we recorded it tonight because I literally got a message from a guy talking about this specific candy. He wasn't begging, and I respect him so much for the way he approached it. He wasn't like begging me to do a review on something. He was just like, hey, have you ever tried this? And he said, I found you, I think today, from your Andy Caps Hot Fries review. And I just like, I had a paragraph of like, man, that one's so old and it's so cringe. And it's just funny how YouTube like suggests my like cringiest videos from like 2013 and everything. But it's cool because it's like, he's the only guy in a while that like, I don't get Twitter messages. It's just not something that happens. And like, and the fact that he went out of his way to be like, hey, I'm kind of a fan of you now, and I was wondering if you tried this. And so I told him, hey, would you like for me to do that review as like a request? And he was like, he literally worded it, hey man, that would be legendary. He's like, he's got a funny personality. And that's awesome. It's like, it's what Dustin said. It's like, it's more about the community. And something I was thinking about, and not the other thing I was thinking about earlier, I'll save that for the end, but Dustin has this thing that I have where it's like the mindset of like, I'm not saying your video came across as like that you felt maybe guilty for having to make a Patreon, but you did say, excuse me, that you didn't want to. And I felt the same way about Patreon forever. And I just recently made mine. I haven't even done a video that's like, hey, I made a Patreon, because I'm already aware of the eye rolls I'll get for that. Like, they might as well make an eye roll button. Like, I'm still waiting on YouTube to make that heart button, though. I think that would really come in handy. But, but it's just like, me and him have this view on things of like, we don't, like, yeah, would I love them if somehow YouTube offered me tomorrow, you want to make a living on YouTube? Do this, this, and this. Like, it depends on what it is, but like, basically I'm trying to say, like, of course I'd want to do that, man. Like, obviously, like, I would love to quit my job tomorrow and just be like, yeah, I'm going to do YouTube for a living. And like, and because here's the thing, with my food reviews and stuff, it's a generally pretty consistent basis, but it's like, there are times, dude, where it's like there's just something, and me and Papa Eats talk about this all the time. He's hilarious. He has this very honest way about him with his food channel. It's like, he's like, don't give a F about that, and I ain't gonna review that. And that's kind of how I feel about certain food items. I'm like, who, like, thinks of this thing that everyone's reviewing as like, yeah, that's my go-to. Like, what, did you grow up eating that weird thing? Like, it's always something with a crazy name, and I'm just like, I'm so simple. Like, I grew up on PB&Js, man. Like, it's, and the whole point another point of the channel for me personally is to broaden my horizons. The whole point of Trav Tries whenever I started was my dad was always picking on me for being such a picky eater, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make a whole show about it. So it's basically like, it was kind of its own thing. And that was before I ever found out that there was a Dame Drops out there, or KBD Productions, or any of those guys that are huge now. It was at a time where, like, I got into food reviewing, and then I started getting interested in, like, the community, and like, oh, there's other people that do this. This is crazy. And then it's a bigger thing now than it's ever been. Food reviewing is actually a thing on YouTube that's like kind of like a dying breed, but then it's starting to, like, it's way more of it. Like the fact that, like, Report of the Week is like over 1 million subs says that, like, people still enjoy this kind of thing. And he's just got that, like, he makes it different. He wears the suits. He's kind of like, you don't really understand him. He's a little odd, but, you know, it just, but that's him. And so, yeah, to get back to what I was saying, is just like, me and Dustin kind of still have that same outlook on, like, Patreon, like, making money. It's like, I've just set my mind to, like, just be chill about that, because it's like, I think about, you know, and it sounds really selfish. It really does. But I know Dustin has to have these thoughts too. You think back to how much time and effort you're putting into these videos. A ton. Like, you think about, like how much editing I do, man, is sometimes just wears me the heck out. I'm just like, I do all this to get, oh, this video's been up for 2 weeks and it's got 50 views. Cool. Like, it just, like, it's a thing, and I'm doing all the tips and all the tricks to do it. I use TubeBuddy. I use the free version for now. I don't know. I'll get the paid version whenever it's, you know, whenever I can do that. But it's just like, I get it, and there's a way to crack it. There's a way to, like, figure it out. But I feel like a lot of YouTube is just pure luck. Like, it really, like, there's these things that you can do to get more views. There really is. Tagging and, like, posting your stuff on social media, and, like, just, like, there's stuff that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head right now, but that I've kind of learned over time. I've become way more intelligent about, like, how to get myself those numbers. But there's only so far that you can go. And there's people out there like Ian and The Endorsement and, like, other people like them that are just, like, killing it in the view game right now. And it's just like, and I'm not saying, I don't know, I'm not going to put any food reviewers on blast, but there are people out there that have been caught with, like, buying subs and, like, stuff like that. And it's just like, I wouldn't even know how to do that even if I wanted to. I don't know, like, people figure out these, like, cheat ways to do things, and I'm just like, so you woke up this morning just thinking, like, I'm going to figure out a way to get more views because I want to get monetized. It's like, it's you're reaching for, what would be a good example? You're wanting to grab the stars, man.
And
like, and that's impossible.
Yeah, it's just not going to happen.
Like, it's literally like you're doing all this work, and guess what happens? It comes back on yourself as a mental disappointment. You become kind of like, I've been there. I've been, like, really sad about my channel many times, and I've just learned to not care that much. Who I am as a person is just a laid-back guy that does that a lot of the times when I'm at work, when I'm out and about or whatever. I just have this, like, oh yeah, I don't care. Like, we've all had that moment where it's like something's going on in our family or whatever, and you're just like, nah, I'm not going to put my energy into that. And then, like, that's just, sometimes you have to draw the line. People like Ian, killing it. He's amazing. He has high standards.
And he's very good at what he does. He is very good.
But if I try to be like him, because this is what gets me. Who did I say this to the other day? Was it last podcast or something? But I said something. Oh, yeah, it was in the live stream I did with Anthony. I mentioned YouTube, and he's kind of, like, struggling with watch time and stuff too, and I'm just like the people out there, this is the people I don't like on YouTube. The people that come at you in the comments like, why don't you do it like this? Why don't you do it like this? They're basically saying, like, why aren't you like Ian K from Peep This Out? Right. It's like, and I'm not saying that I'm just using Ian as an example because I love, he's literally, like, the best food reviewer on the platform, period, in my opinion. But, like, if I try to strive to be like him, then it's not me. YouTube, the word you is in the platform name. It's about you and what you create and make it your own. Is it hard to not make just a niche of a channel? It's hard. Like, it's hard to find your exact, like, way about things. But then when I look at my content and just kind of how I built it up over the years, is just like, I've kind of evolved my channel into, like, fully me. It has that kind of, like, other people do this too, but it's not a Trav Tries review, though, until it's me. And that's not to be like, oh, look at me, but, you know, I'm going to give you the laid-back personality, the funny zoom-ins. I'm going to add more humor. I'm going to do this, like, and just try to lighten up your day, I guess, with some information slash, like, I think of it as like the review is the core of the video, and then everything you get as a bonus around it that I add in and stuff is like, this is for you, like, this is my love letter, I guess, to the audience or whatever. I don't know how to describe it, just sort of like, it's a bonus, like, it's just, you're getting this package, and you know what? I don't think it's a big deal for somebody to sit there for 5 minutes. Like, 5 minutes, I'm at 5 minutes of your time to watch my whole video. Like, and I barely get that, and I'm not saying that I'm that way, but this is just, since me and Dustin are talking about it, I'm just being super honest about how YouTube is, because I feel like people need to understand that. Do not do this thing for the fame and fortune. Like, just, like, it's not, you're setting yourself for the biggest disappointment, because anything that you can imagine and the things that you're thinking in your brain doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen that way. And that's a lot of things just in life in general. Things that you imagine a certain way. Like, have you ever been super nervous about something, or like a speech or something, or I don't know, something you had to do for school, and you realize after you've done it, it wasn't as bad as you imagined the night before, because it's just fear. And that's how the world works. I've seen that. I've been like, why don't I keep learning? Why don't I learn that more often, you know? But when I finally learned, like, things aren't how you think in your head, then I realized, like, yeah, YouTube is just, like,
it's disheartening.
It's not what you're going to imagine.
No, it can be very disheartening. And, you know, my answer to those people that are like, whoa, just do different content. And it's just like, me making different content because you see another channel get hundreds of thousands of views doesn't mean that's going to happen for me. So why would I go out of my way and stop what I do and how I do things to make something different for what? Because what, 3 people want to see it?
And I understand some of their points of view, because I have, there's nothing wrong in my opinion with someone evolving their channel, like, at all. But gotta do it in the way that makes it still you, you know?
And that's
like,
just not...
They're kind of asking you to not be you.
And that's just not my channel. My channel is Minecraft. People come to watch Minecraft. I do tutorials. Half the views I get are people that aren't even, more than half. I guarantee you probably 80% of my views are people that are unsubscribed because they come for one thing, they leave. And I appreciate the people that stick around. And I've seen comments from people that have been watching me for a long time that I've never seen comment before until this previous video. And it's just like, and I tell those people, they're like, well, you know, play Among Us or play like a different game. And I'm like, I do. And they're like,
it's like, go follow his Twitch then. Yeah, he does all kinds of games on that. That's exactly
it. That is a place where I go and I enjoy doing that stuff, because...
But people have short attention spans and they don't freaking go down to the description to click on something. It's like, I've proven that by trying to get people to, like, subscribe to this podcast, this or that, and they don't listen.
I was like, I do play different games. I was like, I do it on my Twitch channel, and I've been going live almost every single day since I started playing Phasmophobia.
Like, live is better than a video anyway.
Yeah, and I was like, you can go there. So, and they're like, well, I don't use Twitch, so you should put it on YouTube. No, I don't want to. Literally, Trav, I want you to do something right now while I do my recommendation, all right? Get on your phone and go on your YouTube app. Okay? Let me know when you're there.
Guys, you'll probably hear Dustin on speaker while I do this. All right, YouTube app.
Okay. In the search bar, type in Minecraft City Hall Tutorial and hit enter.
Minecraft. City. Not Surdy. I hate autocorrect. You said Minecraft City Hall Tutorial and then hit enter.
Search it.
Yeah, you got TSMC.
Who's the third video down?
The third video is you, yeah, and fourth video down.
Now, that third video down, how many views does it have?
142K.
Okay, now keep scrolling down and watch how many videos of mine pop up. You don't have to count. Just start scrolling through at a pretty normal pace.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot.
Why the fuck would I change what I do?
Yeah, you got a point. I mean, you're killing it in the what you do department, even though, yeah, Minecraft is one of those things. I'm going to switch it back to non-speaker, but Minecraft is one of those things that is like, it's not the most popular game out there, but hey, it's got a huge fan base,
and,
man.
and it's just like you know, and my channel's not near what it used to be, and that's fine because it's never about those numbers. But I don't want to do something and try to be this different person and try to be who I am in my Minecraft videos and playing a game like Phasmophobia or Among Us or whatever it may be that's super popular right now. It's so hard to be me but play a video like that, play a game like that, because then I have to sit down, I have to edit it, and I'm unhappy. That's why I do Twitch, because I can go over there and it's my space away from like my YouTube. That is where I can go and I can have fun.
Yeah, it's so free ball because it's like so like, I mean, and you have all the equipment that makes it super professional, but yet it's like it's super high professional stuff, but it's also you being super laid back. And it's like, and ever since you started that, you've created an audience even with that.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. People that actually keep coming back. Cause I see your chat, it's popping.
It is, it's fun.
You know, it's not like freaking whoever I can think of off the top of my head that have a chat where it's like, how do you even, like, people that live stream and me with the YouTube streams lately, I'm like, even slow chat, I'm like, I feel like, oh God, like I just
you gotta
can't.
read everything.
'Cause I have bad ADD anyway, and I just like, and it's just one of those things, like, people that are huge YouTube streamers or Twitch streamers in the chat is like, and just like freaking, I'm just like, how? Like, you have to literally stop the chat to kind of read, and someone's going to get missed, someone's going to get mad, and it's just like, but that is what it is. Like, if I ever get that big, it's like, I'm not, you know, if you want to get mad at me, then cool. It's not my problem, but, yeah, it's just like, I'll get into my recommendation after Dustin does, because I'll formulate my extra thoughts on it.
So, my recommendation is, if you, and I get asked often, I actually had a guy message me on Twitter, and he's like, look, man, I do a podcast, and I have this, and me and my friends talk about movies every week, and really nice guy, and he was like, what do I do to grow a channel? And I told him, and I was like, look, man, the first thing I said was like, if you are in this in hopes of getting really big and making a lot of money on this, then don't. And he was like, well, you know, that's the whole point. And I was like, but do not do this for the wrong reasons. You know, like, I'm glad that you look to me for inspiration, and I'm glad that I can share what knowledge I do have about this with you and about networking and being active, but don't do it for the wrong reasons. And my recommendation really, if you guys want to do YouTube, or you already do YouTube and you're doing it because you want to get big and make all this money, it doesn't happen like that. Like I said, I watch people and talk to people. I'm Easy Now 1337, Barry, him and I are like close personal friends. I literally talk to him on Twitter all the time. We DM, like he sent me $60 for my fucking birthday. Like, we're friends. That's like crazy. We are friends. You know? Like, he literally is like my brother across the pond. Like, him and I are close. He has 237,000 subscribers and does not make enough money off YouTube. Little to actually almost no money off YouTube. So if you think that, like, oh, I need to get 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to make all this money, you're not. Don't stop believing in these unreal expectations that you see, like Logan Paul and David Dobrik. Like, yeah, David Dobrik seems like a really cool fucking guy. He just bought a $9.5 million mansion. That's not going to happen.
And he gives back to the people all the time. I watched those videos where he tossed Xboxes to people, and like, that's really fucking
and he
cool.
has brand deals. But he broke it down. You can look it up. How much David Dobrik did an interview, I think with Vanity Fair, like a big company. And they were like, how much money do you make off YouTube? And he's like, well, ever since they changed everything, he's like, literally nothing. If it wasn't for merch, and if it wasn't for brand deals, and he just solely got paid off YouTube, he couldn't afford anything that he has. And he admitted that. Someone with that many subscribers. What does that go to tell you? Yeah. Stop believing in these unreal expectations. And if you want to do and be on this platform, do it for the right reasons. Do it because you enjoy providing content like Trav and I. I said it in my video, and I'll say it again. It's not about the numbers. I don't care if I made an Among Us video. I don't care if I got 1 million views overnight and I made $10,000 off it. I don't care. Because to me, that's not what it's about. I do this to provide entertainment. And if somebody can watch one of my videos and even feel just a little bit better about a shitty day, then you can't put a monetary value on that to me. If someone can come to me and say, hey, look, man, you inspire me, you can't put a monetary value on that. That is why I do this. It was never about the money. It's not about the subscribers. Or I shouldn't say that. It's not about the amount of subscribers, and it's not about the views. I am glad, and I appreciate every single person that watches and supports me, but it's never about the numbers. And that's how you should take it.
Yeah, I feel inspired, and it's one of those things, and every time I ever talk to, and I've talked to Thomas about this, I've talked to Ryan about it for like 3 hours, and I mean, I've talked to Dustin even about this before this podcast, so this is definitely a subject that I know that we're going to keep coming back to, because it's so important, man. Like, it's so, like, and I feel so passionate like Dustin about it. I'm glad that we see things the same way, which means we're meant to be co-hosts, man. But it's, you know, it literally is important, because you got these people out there that are just like, man, I didn't make this many views or whatever. And it's like, you're a freaking human being putting a camera or a mic on you and stuff, and you're just... like, you're a human being. Stop looking at yourself as, like, this big freaking thing that should get more than you, because, like, you don't deserve, like, any of this unless you've, like, shown things. Like, give back to the people and stuff. And that's why I made my Patreon, was literally because once I realized, you know what, because I've always had the PayPal link in the description, and honestly, tell you guys the truth, like, literally just the other day, I looked at my PayPal. I don't know how I got it. I don't know, but somehow I built up $9.57.
Woo!
And I'm like, bro, that's literally like some gas money right there. Like, that's money. Think about it like this, guys. That's money that I would not have without the content. And, like, it's just bonus money. Like, I'm doing well for myself. I've got a job and everything, but it's like, it's an extra $9, dude. Right. Like, I see that, that's just how I see things, and it's like, I don't know where that came from. I honestly, legitly am like, I guess rather someone donated that much to me, or it was just a built-up thing. A few donations, like $1 here, $1 there. I don't know, but the other day I was like, you know what? It was only $9. I was like, payout. And just added it to my account, because I'm like, it's extra money. And that's how I see it, is like, if you guys, the audience, want to give back to us, the people that, like, you have grown to care about, because let me lead this into my recommendation. I'm going to try to word it right, but I wish that I could think in my top of my head what this guy's name is. I actually don't even know if I ever memorized his channel name, but I'm going to link this specific guy, and I'm actually, after this, going to send Dustin. I think he would really appreciate this video, and I may have sent it to you before, but you can confirm after you see it, but it's a 20-minute video, and this guy, he has the best video I have ever seen on exactly what me and Dustin are talking about. He has our points of view on it. He's a really big channel, though. Like, he's into the hundreds K, like maybe 500K or something like that. That's not, you know, that's huge in our eyes, right, basically, compared to us. But, you know, he has the best opinion about it, because he says what we say, and this is what I believe is, build that core audience, the core that care about you. And like he said, like, he used an example. He's like, I've subscribed, and I agree with him on this. I've subscribed to so many channels that, like, I just watched a video here and there, but I don't really like, but there are people that subscribe to you and then they keep coming back. I have that, and once he said that, and I thought to my audience that I was like, oh my God, I do have that. Over the years that I've been doing this, I have built that, like, core audience yeah, that comment all the time. Elizabeth Ricard, she's all up in the food reviewers channels and videos. She's everywhere, and I love her for it. Me and her have kind of became close friends and stuff, and it's just really cool. You just build this community that cares about you. And those are the people that are going to end up like subscribing to like a Patreon and stuff. For instance, I don't know the guy's name off the top of my head that bought our Bearded Bros red hoodie, but I respect that guy,
and he listens to
so
every show.
much because he went out of his way to go to the Teespring. It's like you got to click a link, you got to go in, you got to log in. You know, it's like there's a lot of steps. So once you get to the point of purchasing, that means he hit purchase on our hoodie to support us. And it's like we're just two just random guys. Like it just like we're just recording stuff for you guys. We're like literally having a conversation for entertainment. And that's beautiful to me.
We have
like
Oreo,
that's,
and you know,
yeah, Oreo, and like because like I've got like my food review audience, and then like when I come to the podcast, I have like a whole different set of people, which I think is amazing, and some of them crisscross, and I really, that's what it's all about for me. Is like I love to plug my separate channels, like let everybody know like I do all these things,
and I
man.
have people too. And for example, my buddy Oddish, I have Oro, Craig, this guy Craig. Love him dearly. My buddy Z watches all my videos, watches my disc golf videos. Craig watches all my things. Craig comes to my Twitch channel.
Because they care about you as
Craig
a person. It's not necessarily the
Craig
content.
Craig is in the UK. And I can go live at like 10:30 at night. He's 5 hours ahead of me. And he will watch my stream almost until the end.
Nice. Yeah, you get that, like, this guy. So I won't go into exactly what the guy said because it's a 20-minute video, but like, please, guys, if you are somebody that is rather interested in starting a channel, or you're just started a channel and you're just like, you're wondering what headspace to be in going forward, because it can be hard to figure out how to think about this. You're going to get better at it. But you just got to stay optimistic about the idea of like, don't try to shoot for the quick fame, but go check out this guy's video. I promise you guys, I cannot recommend this video enough. Like, this guy explains like it so well in the whole 20 minutes that like I was glued. I like listening to long videos, but it depends on the day. But this particular time, I was like, he had me glued. He got my watch time basically, and he worded it beautifully, and it's like, and it's something that I don't see anymore. I don't see this type of person, like, just, because he's kind of just making a point, like, don't follow the niche, like, kind of make it your own, and, like, you'll build that core audience that care about you as a person. And, like, when I think about me and Dustin's channel, I'm like, what he said, and this is coming from a huge channel, he's right about every bit of that. Like, it has actually happened. It's not just something I'm imagining, like, oh, that'd be cool to build that core audience. Like, no, it's happened already to me. And those are the people that are worth making the content for. The people that keep coming back. I don't care. It's random subscribers that just don't ever watch a video again. I get that all the time. I have horrible watch time because people subscribe and they don't watch. And I'm totally fine with that, even though it is disheartening or whatever, but you can't let your mind get in that headspace. You've got to just, like, if you love to do this truly, then you'll just keep going. That's just it.
And that's how it is for both of us. And that's how it's always going to be for me. The Patreon is there as another way to support. If you want to support it, awesome. If you don't want to, that's fine. It's not like something that, you know, that needs to happen. It's not, again, on there, it's not about the money. I don't care if I was making thousands of dollars on Patreon. It wouldn't matter, because that money's just going to go right back to the people that support anyway. It's getting put right back into the channel. It's never for personal use.
Yeah, and for a good example, real quick before we end it, a good example to this, guys, this is me being completely honest with you guys. We have this podcast, I mean, and this is like, kind of be a plug too. We have this podcast on YouTube, and it's on Spotify, it's on Apple Podcasts, and all those other platforms because, thanks to Anchor.fm. And we can do, what is it called? Advertisements, freaking sponsors. And like recently, I even just re-recorded the Anchor ad because I realized how chopped up and what I said before. I was like starting out with the podcast, wording things, and so you just get better. So I just re-recorded the same ad, but we like build up pretty much like a little bit of pocket change for that. So in a way, can we say like, oh, we make money off this podcast? It's like not enough at all. It's a few cents, but it's something. That's just how I see things like that. I don't see any harm in the time that you put into creating. Why not make a little money back? And I know there's some subscribers, and I've seen people on Old Nerd Reviews when he talked about the join button he started or whatever, the people were bashing him because they're like, get a real job or whatever. Like, you're just like creating these ways to just make a buck or whatever. It's like, excuse me. Like, it's free content for you guys. Like, it will never not be, but it's just that idea of like, it's like if you want to, it's there. That's how I see your Patreon. It's like, and my PayPal is always linked because it's like, that's there if you, not even if you care enough. You can care and not donate, but it's an option. And I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that, guys. Follow us on Twitter and message us, maybe message us and, let us know what you thought of this. I don't know what will be kept in this podcast. I'm just going to tell Lucas, like, cut out whatever the heck you want. I think we should just
name it, This Episode Got Weird.
Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. Because we went a little over anyway, and there's probably some stuff that could be shaved off to make it a little closer to an hour.
You know
but
what?
we'll see.
No, let's keep it all, dude. Let's keep it all. Give the people what they want.
All right. All right. Well, I mean, sorry, Lucas. But yeah, man. Anything you want to say before we head out?
That's all, man. I think we covered pretty much everything.
We covered all the nakedness and all the money and all the. Wow, that's actually a good pun. But anyway, guys, we'll be. I don't know. I'm so scatterbrained. We'll see you guys later.